You're still talking about players from your coaching managing days, and then even into a little bit of the Stanley Cup of the great Rangers team and that run and winning the Stanley Cup there against the Canucks.
Yeah. That was a culmination of 5 years of trying to find the right combination. When I got to New York in 1989, it had been that was the 50th season without having won the cup. And you get that thrown at you as soon as you get the job. Like, when are we going to win the Stanley Cup? And I'm like, I just want to make the playoffs. I'm hoping to make the playoffs. So, I was left to do what I had to do, starting in around 1991, and I was able to make the trade for Messier and sign Adam Graves and do a lot of other things that worked out really well for us. And then we were able to win in '94, which was literally a dream come true, not figuratively, literally. Like, it was for all the Ranger fans. They didn't think they'd ever see it. It had been 54 years. And from the Leaf fans now, don't think they'll ever really going to see it. And that's been what, 56 years for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that was quite a thing. The feeling of winning it there was absolutely out of this world. It's a hard act to follow in life, though. That's the only thing, is that you do something like that that's so monstrous that you wonder where you're going to go from there, with your life. And but anyway, it was just a tremendous time, tremendous group of guys. When we have the reunions now, where I talk to any of them, they're all love each other. Like, I mean, they're just like literally like brothers. Just a really good, tight group of guys that did something really special.
Um, just I guess on a coaching interest, I think, or I guess managerial is when you're um going into that job, they're talking about when are we winning the Stanley Cup. But as you took that and as you now look back, were there major changes that I guess people that were telling you, or people in the organization, whether it be the owner, whether it be the hockey ops people above you, or like things that you changed, that you brought to the table, and you won the cup, so, and you obviously were there for 12 years or so did they notice big changes or little changes that you had done to be successful like that?
Yeah, I think the main thing is that you have to change the culture of a team that whose expectations are that you're not going to win. Ultimately, you're not going to win the whole thing, because you never do. Sort of like a Bad News Bears type group. And the only way you change that, I can't change that myself. The only thing I can do is recognize and bring in players that can change that with the locker room. So, and that was the whole idea behind getting Messier, was here's a guy that's won 5 Stanley Cups. I mean, the ultimate champion. And then Adam Graves had won one with Edmonton. Jeff Bukaboom had won 3 or 4 already with Edmonton. And then we added on a bunch of other Oilers and different people. And, if you bring that mentality into the locker room, that, I've won before, and by God, I'm going to do it again. I want to do it again. I don't want to go home this summer like everybody does. I want to go home with that feeling I had that one year where I knew we were the best. That can change the culture of the organization. And if I'm proud of anything, I'm proud of the fact that I was able to change the culture of the Rangers and what they were. They went from being, a team that literally never won, and everybody thought could never win because they were, just not in that group, like the Islanders or the Edmonton Oilers or the Montreal Canadiens in their day, and Colorado Avalanche and all that. And we changed it and proved that you could win in New York. We actually had, I'd say, 8 really good years there, where we were a top team. And then we had to try to rebuild it near the end. And of course, that's never fun for the fans to see a rebuilding process. But yeah, it was important. But again, Brandon, as I said, the manager or the coach can only bring in the mentality that they have, but the guys that will really, it's the players that do it. And so your job is to find the players that will be able to bring that culture to your team and be able to lead your team to winning, because you don't win by accident. You don't take a bunch of guys who have never won before in their life, throw them all together on a team, and oh, they had a real good season and they won the cup. Like, this doesn't happen. It only happens when they're driven to win, and that's what that team was.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, just changing the culture is such a big one. I do notice something I did experience and was able to learn pretty quickly is when you come out of the junior hockey or college hockey, the pro teams really like the winners, especially the leaders, the captains, assistants, and it's not just even having a letter on your jersey; it's just the people they are. They give them the chance all the time.
Yeah.
They really, really like those, let's say, the star players or the top point getters, or what, given their role they're really good at on a winning team. So say there's a checking forward, a penalty killer, face-off guy on that winning team, what the next level teams are looking for are those types of guys on those winning teams, just because they know how to win. Learned that really quick entering the pro game, as I didn't really see as much in the junior levels, and even we'll say the college levels. Maybe it's just given on the teams I was playing for, but it was really interesting that way. Is like how you got your chances. You do good now. Most times, I think some players fall through the cracks a little bit, but
and if surrounded by the right people, there's nobody that can't win. In other words, I don't go with that philosophy either. As scouts, we used to say things like, "You're never going to win with that guy." Well, that's not true. You're never going to win with that guy as your leader.
yeah.
But if he's just one of the players on a team with good leadership and the right mentality, he can win. I could give you examples over the years of players that we said would never win, and they ended up on a Stanley Cup team. The Montreal Canadiens of 1993, if you go back and look at some of the names on that team, there were players that you thought would never win. And oh, you're not going to win with that guy. I'm sure there were players on our team of 94 that people would say, oh, the guy's been in the league for 12 years. You're never going to win with him. But surrounded by the right people and learning the mental toughness that it takes and buying into everything, they can win. It's just, you're not going to take a guy that doesn't have the real mental toughness, make him the leader on a team, and somehow that team's going to win the championship. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.